Good day everyone, my name is Jetler D. Paliharo. So for today's video, we're going to make a reflection on what we have learned. Topic is different equipment for environmental protection and different documents required by the annexes. First is, what is ODME? ODME is Oil Discharge Monitoring Equipment. What is the purpose? The purpose of ODME is to discharge as much water as we can, but not discharge oily water exceeding the limit of MARPOL regulation. Why do we need ODME? ODME brings a balance between do not throw oil into the sea and reduce operational cost to the ship owners. How does it get this value? So, flow rate and flow meter. ODME computing unit gets the flow rate from the flow meter. A small sample line goes from the main line, pass through the flow meter and goes back to the main line. So, measuring ppm. So, it is analyzing unit. We measure ppm in a water sample. The sample water is passed through a quartz glass tube. A sample from discharged water need to pass through the measuring unit. Next is, what is an oil-water interface detector? So, an oil-water interface detector is an electrical instrument for detecting the boundary between oil and water tanks. However, the equipment is not limited to oil water, but can be used wherever an accurate interface control between two liquids is necessary. So, how interface on ships work? So, the interface detector consists of two parts: sensor, antenna, and display control system. Interface detectors works by measuring the difference in voltage accordance to the conductivity of water. The interface is detected by a sensor attached to a weight which is lower in the tank. Next is, what is an oily water separator, OWS? An oily water separator is a piece of equipment specific to the shipping marine industry. It is used to separate oil and water mixture into their separate components. So, they are used to separate oil from oily waste water such as bilge water before the wastewater is discharged into the environment. Purpose of OWS. The primary purpose of a shipboard oily water separator, or OWS, is to separate oil and other contaminants that could be harmful for the oceans. So, what is port facility reception? The merchant fleet of ships in the shipping industry is generally divided into two main categories: dry ships, which carry dry cargo in bulk, and wet ships, which carries liquid cargo in bulk. So, both of these types of ships generate oily residue, mixture, and garbage during their normal shipping and cargo carrying operation at port. So, port reception facility is a kind of provision that any international shipping port must provide and to collect residues, oily mixtures, and garbage generated from a sea. Going a vessel, the arrangement must be such that a receiving operation can be performed as fast possible to avoid undue delay of the ship. So next is SOPEP. What is Ship Oil Pollution Emergency Plan? So SOPEP is a prevention plan carried on board tankers less than 150 gross tonnage and vessels 400 gross tonnage. So in this plan, you get an overview of possible procedures in case of an oil spill. The purpose of the plan. The Shipboard Oil Pollution Emergency Plan, or SOPEP, is to be seen as information from the owners to the master of a particular ship. So, it shall advise the master how to react in case of an oil spill to prevent or at least mitigate negative effects on the environment. So, the plan contains operational aspects for various oil spill scenarios and list communication information to be used in case of such incidents. Next is International Convention for the Control Management of Ships' Ballast, Water and Sediments, or BWM. So, BWM, entry into force 12 months after ratification by 30 states. So, it representing 35% of the world merchant shipping tonnage. Next is ballast water. Ballast water is essential to control trim, list, drought, stability, or stresses of the ship. Ballast Water Management Convention. So, this aims to prevent the spread of harmful aquatic organisms from one region to another by establishing standards and procedures for the management and control ships' ballast water and sediments. Ballast Water Management Convention. So, all ships will also have to carry a ballast water record book and International Ballast Water Management Certificate. So, of course, this is very important. So, the ballast water management standards will be paced in over period of time. So, it says this, paced in over a period of time. As an intermediate solution, ships should exchange ballast water mid-oceans in reception facilities. So, in under Article 5 sediments, reception facilities, parties undertake to ensure that ports and terminals where cleaning or repair ballast tanks occur have adequate reception facilities for the reception of sediments. Next is surveys, certification, and inspection. So, this is very important. Ships are required to be surveyed and certified and may be inspected by port state control officers who can verify that the ship has valid certificate. So, it inspect the ballast water record book and or sample of the ballast water. So, advantage of ballast water management plan. With the help of a proper ballast management plan and some additional information, operational delays can be avoided, which will help to save time and money. So for the second topic is different documents required by the annexes. So, International Oil Pollution Prevention Certificate, or IOPP. Why is it required? So, it is required by MARPOL Annex 1 regulation for the prevention of pollution by oil. So, there are surveys. What are surveys are required? First is initial survey, renewal survey, intermediate survey, and annual survey. And in supplement to the IOPP, so the equipment listed. These records will be permanently attached to the IOPP certificate and form of useful guide to the scope on IOPP survey. So, there are two formats for this supplement exist. First is form a record of construction and equipment for the ships other than oil tankers. Form B record of construction and equipment for oil tanker. So in this topic, we have the International Pollution Prevention Certificate carriage of noxious liquid substances in bulk. So, or the NLS certificate. The NLS certificate carrying chemicals. So, why is it required? So, it is required by MARPOL Annex 2. What does it certify? The ship has been surveyed in accordance with Regulation 8 of Annex 2 of MARPOL. So, what are the other international regulations cover the carriage of chemicals in bulk? So, of course, we have the carriage of chemicals in bulk is covered by Regulation in SOLAS, Chapter 7. Carriage of dangerous goods. So, what are the NLS categories? We have the Category X, Category Y, and Category Z. And in the International Sewage Pollution Prevention or ISPP certificate. So, this is also a certificate. So, why is it required? So, it is required by MARPOL Annex 4 Regulation for the Prevention of Pollution by Sewage from Ships. What is sewage? So, sewage, drainage and other waste from any form of toilets and urinals. How long does the certificate last? So, for a period of specified by the administration which shall not exceed 5 years. And the International Air Pollution Prevention Certificate or IAPPC. So, IAPPC, keeping the air clean. So, this is good for the environment. Why is that? Why is the certificate required? So, it is required by Regulation 5 of Annex 6 of MARPOL. And then what emissions are covered by certificate? Ozone depleting substances, nitrogen oxides, sulfur oxides or SOx and particulates, volatile organic compounds or VOCs, shipboard incineration. So, why surveys are required? So, an initial survey, renewal survey at intervals not exceeding 5 years, an intermediate survey, an annual survey, an additional survey. So, in Engine International Air Pollution or EIAPP. So, what is the EIAPP certificate? So, it is the Engine International Air Pollution Prevention of certificate issued for a marine diesel engine. So, it says there that what does the IAPP certify? So, that a marine diesel engine has been surveyed for a certification in accordance with the requirements of the revised Technical Code on control emission of nitrogen oxides. So, how long is it valid? So, for the life of the engine subject to surveys in accordance with Regulation 5 of Annex 6 of the Convention. So, that is for the second topic. And that's all. And I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you.